Well, hey everybody, welcome to part 7. Yeah, part 7 of our silver refine, our silver contact refine. A couple days has passed since I did the last part of part 6. I just want to show you we were dropping, and we are continuing to drop 5, 6, and 7. 9 is done. It's ready to be cleaned up. So as soon as it settles back out, we'll be cleaning that one up, which is what we're doing right now. This is number 3 that we are boiling right now. And as you can see, there was crap in it, like there's been in all these. This over here is actually hydrochloric acid that I've used to boil, that I pour off, and I'm letting it settle, and we're getting like that same junk in the bottom. I don't know if you can see it or not. There is batch 8, which I believe was our largest batch. Yeah, it was 648 grams. But by the looks of the way these are turning out, I think they're going to be, with that, whatever that ceramic crap is, I don't really know, but I think they're going to take up a little bit of weight. That is our stuff, our plugs and our filters and all that, and that little bit of water that still is now probably a week or so old and still hasn't settled out. So anyway, that's junk I'm going to throw in AR later and see and check it out. This was actually our from the original water, when we rinsed everything off and put it all in that jar, and it took a few days to settle. That's actually our silver or copper or whatever it is, nitrate from that. So I'll throw some HCl in that one pretty soon, and see what we had just in that rinse water. Down here I've got some more rinse water to reduce. I just poured that HCl rinse water off, and that is the silver chloride that we have stacked up so far from rinse waters. So I will put that as a part 10 and add that back in and figure out exactly what that was. But I just wanted to show you. Oh, and this is the first half of part 3. Hang on just a second. Let me switch over and give you a close-up of it. So I'll be right back in just a second. Okay, and I'm just going to get in here on that. That is after it has been all cleaned up, and you can see how nice and bright it is. And it looks like this, that gray sludgy crap, before we do that. And it's all, fluffy. Let's get over here and I'll show you this boiling. So I've got one more. I'm going to let this boil for a few more minutes. Then I'm going to change out the HCl, and we're going to do one more after that, and then we'll rinse it and we'll get it in the drying oven. So we'll be back at you when we get inside. Okay guys, we're inside. It is the next morning, and we got our silver out of the drying oven. It's very clean, very nice looking. I know probably on there it looks white, but it's just glittering glittering with silver. So anyway, I think out of this was the large tungsten batch, or the mixed up tungstens. We started with 1171 grams. So let's take a peek at what we got out of this. Okay guys, it looked like a lot more in this dish than it is. I can already tell I've weighed quite a bit of silver in this beaker, so I already know that there's not for 1171 grams of tungstens, we don't have a huge result here. So let's see what we got. Okay, 346.08. We had 346.10 the first time, 346.07. Tar it once. 346.06. 04. 04. 346.05. So we'll call it 346.05. 346.05 minus 101.46 equals 244.59 grams. 244.59 grams. Okay, so again, I already, like I said, I can tell just by it looked like a lot more in here. We started with 1171. So let's see what we got. 244 is not looking too sweet. 591171. Got to get a new calculator. 244.59 divided by 1171 equals 20.88. So we'll call it 21. 21%. Okay, so let me hang on just a second. Let me get my sheet and I'll update it and then we'll come back. Okay guys, our number 3, which is this batch, was the mixed tungsten contacts. It was 1171 grams and we got 244.59. Whoops, 244.59 out of it. So our total so far, now I'm not counting this on the top because that was completely separate, so we're not going to count that. That has nothing to do with the rest of the refined. So far we're at 38%. I was really hoping this batch would bring these two numbers up, and it really reduced them way down. There is a lot of junk in all in this whole all these contacts, not just the tungstens, but I mean normally tungstens, I mean 40, 45, 50%, even a little higher is kind of normal. Number 4, the little round guys, is the closest to normal that we've gotten. So right now we have recovered, let's see, 67.86, 244.59, and 88.06. So we have recovered 400 grams, 400.51 grams of silver from 175, 171, 193, from 1,539 grams of material, which is over 3 pounds. So we've got 1539, 400.51, 539. So right now we are at 26%, which is not good. That one really hurt. But hey, like I said, you never know what you're going to get until the job is done. This one I actually boiled this one in acid several times to get it clean. It was very dirty. There was a lot of whatever. You know, I'm thinking there's nickel, there's copper, there's whatever, but there was a lot of crap in this. Once again, so alright, we're going to get outside and get to rinsing some other batches. I'm really hoping that these solid contacts bring things up to snuff. But with all that ceramic crap in them and that powder that's in them, I'm not too confident. So anyhow, alright, we'll see you when we get outside. Okay guys, so here's where we are. Batch 9 has settled out. I'm going to siphon it out and work on cleaning it up today. Batches 5, 6, and 7, which is 5, 6, and 7, are, I just stirred them up, and we're going to let them settle out. They are finished. So when they settle out, we'll clean them up. I'm going to get batch 8 up on the shelf, get some more copper cut and cleaned up, and get to work on it. We're going to clean that up today and see what we get out of it. I'm hoping, let me see what we are, batch 8. Batch 8 was our largest. It was the square alloys. It was 648 grams of them. So I'm hoping, I mean, according to the amount of nitric it took to dissolve them, I mean, I'm hoping we're up to snuff on this. I'm hoping we weren't just dissolving a whole bunch of junk too. So anyhow, that's where we are right now. That is our chloride settled out, our silver chloride. Now this is from all the rinse waters and everything that I've been saving up. I pour them off in here, then I reduce them down and hit them with a little bit of, I just repeatedly use this. This is kind of an HCl water mix. And I'm just, instead of using fresh acid each time, there's enough acid left over in this to drop the silver chloride. So we are just using that over and over. That's the same one from yesterday. I haven't reduced it down yet. And today we're probably going to go ahead and get this done. Now this I will put fresh hydrochloric acid in, because this was kind of a little test I just wanted to do. Where, you know, to see what we got out of our rinse water. In other words, the dust. Before we ever started doing any of these, the dust that was on everything. So I'm going to go ahead and get set up and get cleaned up. Once again, like I said, I'm not going to put you guys through this cleanup process. You've already seen it. So I'm going to get to work. One more thing. There is our hydrochloric acid that has settled out, and that's the crap that's in the bottom. So anyhow, let me I'm getting ahead of myself here, but let me go ahead. I want to get this one set up, get some copper cut for it, and get it dropping. Then we'll have, that's our last drop right there, other than cleanup. So when we get to the cleanup, we'll stack that up in here. All right, guys, we'll be back at you later on. Okay, guys, I'm trying not to bore you with too much repetitive stuff, but some things I just have to show you. This is our number 9 batch, which was our second largest batch. This is the first HCl boil. I'm actually bringing it up to temperature now slowly, but look at the color of that acid. So there's a lot of crap coming out of this. I've had some bad batches that had a lot of crap in them, but I've never had a batch or a bunch like these. I don't know. I don't know what Jerry got these from. I don't remember. I think he may have told me. I'm just not positive. To me, there was a lot of contacts in there that looked like, very similar, if not identical, to other contacts that I've done. But I have never had this much other metal contamination, and I mean, you can see it in there, and that's after the fresh water, the boiled water rinse. So I'm going to let this boil for a while, then I'm probably going to change it out. It may take 2 or 3. I can tell the silver has already brightened up a lot, but that's still a lot of crap. That's a lot of crap in there. So I just wanted to show you that, guys. I'll show you this batch when it's done and when we're weighing it up. Okay, guys, here we go with another interesting little discovery here. This was batch 8. I said it was our last batch that we needed to drop. I switched over from the plates because I don't have any more cut to copper wire like I normally do. I just did the coil instead of round. I just did it up and down. This coil has now been in here for over 15 minutes, and it is barely producing silver. Look at that. I mean, just a little bit is falling off. So another interesting tale with this batch. It is slowly but surely producing silver, but this is even cleaner copper than I used in all the other stuff. So anyway, I'm going to let this go for a while and see what happens. Push come to shove, if this doesn't work, which I don't understand why it wouldn't. I've never had this happen before, ever. I mean, you can see it's got a little film on it, but it's almost like it's locking out. So anyhow, I'm going to let it go for a while. We'll see what happens. Push come to shove, I'll drop it with hydrochloric acid, and we'll drop it as a chloride. There should be approximately 600 grams of silver in this batch, somewhere along those lines, between 500 and 600 grams. You would think it would be pushing out of this relatively fast. We don't even have, we got about 1,000 mils, maybe a hair more. We've got 1,500 mils of solution in there, just shy of it. So, I mean, I don't know. Just another little something to make you wonder what the heck's going on. Alright guys, I just wanted to show you this. You can see how long, I mean, I'm 2 minutes on this. Normally you can watch the stuff just fall off, and in 2 minutes nothing has, nothing has come off of this. So we'll see what happens in about an hour, and I'll check it again. Okay guys, I had a little leftover piece of copper plate, so I went ahead and put that in there. We are starting to get a little bit of action off of that coil now, and we're getting some action off this plate, but look at how dirty. I mean, this was solid contacts. This was scrap. You know, this was the other ones. I don't remember if this is, let me see, number 7. Let me see what number 7 was. Number 7 was alloy contacts, and you can see I would consider that dirty. I mean, that drop, I would consider that a dirty drop. It's just a little bit sparkly. It's not, you know, clumpy or tight or solid or big or any of that stuff. And look at this compared to that. Look at the difference in color. This drop is absolutely filthy, and I have no idea why. I mean, other than the fact of whatever these contacts came from. It is barely, you know, we're getting a little bit off the plate, but this is reacting very, very slow, and it's dropping very, very dirty. So I just wanted to show you that. We may have to clean this one up, I don't know. But again, look at the difference in the color. And this one, as far as I'm concerned, that's a dirty drop. So anyhow, I'm just going to let this thing go, and if we have to clean it up or do something to it, we'll clean it up. We are currently letting this cool off. We have just a slight bit of color in our acid now, so I'm going to go ahead and pour it off and start our boil of water rinse and get that in the drying oven. That was our number 3. So, no, not our number 3. That was our number, oh, that was our number 9. So, alright guys, I'm getting goofy headed with all these separate batches. But anyway, so I just wanted to show you that. I don't know why it's doing that, no idea. Just weird. This whole tungsten and mixed contact refined, this whole batch has been extremely weird. So, alright guys, we'll get back at you later. Okay guys, we are inside. It is the next morning, and this is our number 9 dried out. You can see we got another nice little batch, cleaned up well, but man was it was dirty. I mean, really dirty. So anyhow, 5, 6, and 7 are settled. I'm going to be working on them, getting them cleaned up. Number 8, as we saw, is being a real pain in the butt. I put some more. I put 2 copper sheets in it this morning. It's barely reacting, and it's also like sheeting over, or like almost like locking out. Like I said, I don't know why. I've never had one do that before, whether there was not enough water or too much water or whatever. It still fell off. So anyway, what I'm going to do is I'm going to let those sheets go. I'm going to pull them out if they get solid and break them up, and then put them back inside the solution. Then I'm going to let that solution settle out. I mean, if it doesn't start reacting to the copper, I'm going to let it settle out. I'm going to siphon it off. I'm going to rinse what silver is in there really well, then reduce that down, the rinse water down, put it back in the number 8. And then I'm going to do it with HCl. I'm just going to drop it with HCl as a chloride, and I'll have to convert it because it's becoming way too much of a pain in the butt to keep trying to break up the copper, and it's just a pain. Anybody who's ever run into that problem about, where the copper, where it doesn't fall off, then you have to break that stuff up. So, because there may be a little bit of copper left inside it. So anyway, let's get this weighed up. We had 572 grams. This was our, oh goodness, what was it, the squares? Let me see. 5, well, it actually says 573 on there and 572 on there. So we'll call it 573. And this was the rectangles. So, and by the way, all those other pieces, I've got the stuff that was left in the bottom of the squares and the rectangles is now dissolved. So I will clean that up and get that ready to drop too. That'll go in our cleanup stuff. It wasn't that much. It was like, I don't know, maybe 6 contacts or 7 contacts. Alright, so anyhow, this is our number 9. We had our rectangle mix. It was rectangle mix. 5, according to this one, 573, so I'm going to go by that. And 573 grams to start with. I'm hoping there's at least 400 in here. I hope. I mean, that would be about 80%. I don't know. It doesn't. From the looks of the last time, it doesn't. I got 2 beakers because generally these, you can't do the whole 500 if it's 500 because it, won't weigh. But anyway, let me get this stuff scooped out, and let's just get it weighed and see where we're at. Okay, guys. Got it all in one beaker. I was actually hoping that wouldn't happen, but it is pretty dense. It's kind of fine. So let's see if it's over. If it's over 500, this scale won't weigh it, or over 400 because this beaker weighs 95.8. So let's see what we got. Well, it is weighing over 500. It says 518 and a half. Okay, 518.45. Let's do it one more time. 518.47. So we're going to call it 518.45. Let me do it one more time. 49. Sorry for the interruption, guys. I had to take a phone call. Now it's day before yesterday. My brother-in-law had a heart attack, so he's in the hospital, in a big hospital down in Atlanta. So I had to take that call, see what's going on, updated. He seems to be all right. Evidently they're going to do a heart cath on him tomorrow, try and figure out what's going on. So anyway, where were we? We were at, I didn't get to write this down, so I think we'll do it again. 518.48. 518.48. 518.50. I'm going to call it 518 and a half. 518.5. and we will minus the beaker. 518.5 minus 95.8 equals 422.70, which is good. I was hoping for a normal amount. So 422.7. Let's see what our ratio was. 422.7 equals, well, it's still low. It's still low. 73.76. So 73 point, let's just call it 73, let's just call it 74%. So still not good, not enough to bring our upper numbers up. So, and you saw all the crap that came out of this. I mean, that fluid was almost black, literally almost black, the hydrochloric acid on the first acid wash. So that's where we are right now, guys. It's Sunday early afternoon now. I'm actually going to take the rest of the day off, and we will get back at you tomorrow. Okay, guys, I know I said I was going to take the day off, but you know me, I always change my mind. It's blazing friggin' hot out here today, though. I mean, it is hot. As you can see, I got my lawn mowed temporarily till it grows up again. But anyhow, this has not changed. It's the same thing. It's just locking up. In fact, these two actually, if you look, these two actually got stuck together. See what it's doing? I mean, it's, I don't know what the deal is with this one, but I'm gonna clean this silver off of these, put it back in this jar. I'm gonna stir it up, let it settle, then I'm gonna siphon it off, and I'm dropping that with HCl. I'm tired of messing with it. Actually, I came out here to do a little gold drop. This is some pins that I've had going since actually last winter. So anyhow, I'm gonna go ahead and do that today. But in the meantime, while that's in Aqua Regia doing its thing, I'm gonna work on this stuff. But you can see what it's doing. I mean, it is literally just locking up. It's just not doing what it's supposed to do. So let me get this cleaned up, because it's a real pain in the butt. And then like I said, I'm going to get it back in here, and I'm going to stir it up. I'm going to let it settle, and then I'm going to drop that with HCl after I get what silver's in there out. So we'll see you in a bit. Okay, guys, I just wanted to show you real quick what's going on. You see how it's like almost plates, and what it does is it's forming over this and basically locking it out. I mean, it just gets on there, and then it won't let anything else happen. So I'm going to pour this back in here. Like I said, I'm going to stir it up. I'm going to let it set. Tomorrow, when it clears up, I'm going to go ahead and siphon it off, and I'm going to finish it with by doing a chloride drop. So that's what's going on with this. Like I said, anything to be a kind of a pain. While I'm waiting on my other stuff, I'll start rinsing those so we can get that done. So much for a day off, right? Alright, we'll catch up with you later. Okay, guys, I just wanted to show you number 7, another black bunch of goop. We're getting it on the boil now. Out here is 5 and 6. 6 was our little mixed alloy contacts, and 5 was our solder and junk and everything else that was loose, little beads of crap, which apparently there's also a ton of crap in that, because I just put the acid in these. So you can see the difference and how much crap is in that one, which is what I'm finding a lot of this. And I believe that It's nickel and lead. That's what I think. I think there's a lot of lead in these. I think there was a lot of lead contamination, and I think those plates in between may have been nickel. All I know is that I've never had hydrochloric acid that bad. You know, get that bad from silver. Especially even dropping it with copper. I've never had it get like that. Most of the time, that'll be all you see. A little bit of color like that one. Not this stuff. So I'm just showing you. I'm going to get this boiled off, get it rinsed, and then I'm going to be quitting for today. I actually should have took my day off, but I didn't, so maybe I'll take tomorrow off. We'll see. Alright guys, we'll be back at you in a bit. Okay guys, here is 5 and 6 in their second HCl boil. And look at the difference in the color between those two. And this is actually a good one, because these are probably going to be real close to the same amount of stuff. But look at the difference in the color. I'm saying this one's lead, that one's probably nickel. Or something along those lines. Because this was the scrap, and this was the contacts, the little mixed contacts, which were also layered. So, definitely some unique stuff in this batch. For right now, these are the last two I'm going to clean up tonight. I'm going to get those rinsed. I actually have 7 in the drying oven right now. So this bad boy is going to sit till tomorrow, and then I'm going to siphon that off. We're going to drop the rest of that silver with HCl. So I will get back at you guys tomorrow. Okay guys, it is the next morning, and our batch 7 is dry. This was our soft alloy. It was 278 grams to start with. So let's see what we got. We got another nice powder. I'm hoping this one's a little closer. We'll see soon enough. Okay, so there it is. Again, we have a nice powder. It looks the same as the rest. I'm not gonna, do a close-up here. I just want to do a quick tally on it. Number 5 and number 6 are actually out in the drying oven right now, and number 8, we will probably siphon that off today and clean up what silver did drop, and then I'm going to reduce it a little bit and drop it with hydrochloric acid into silver chloride, because it's just being too much of a pain in the butt. Once again, I know I said it in the beginning and a few times, this is exactly why I like to do things separately. Yeah, it's been a pain in the butt. It's been a pain in the butt to keep track of, but now I know what each one. Gnats are horrible this year. Anyway, now I know what each one of these particular styles of contacts did. So I can go back and look at this, use it for a reference in case I come across it again. But anyhow, so let's see what we got. Let me get off the desk. 0, tar it. We got 304.93. So let's do it a couple times. 304.93. 304.92, 304.92, 304.91. So tar it again. 304.91, 304.91, 304.90. So I'm going to call it 304.91. So 304.91, 304.91 minus 95.8. 95.8 equals 209.11. So we had 278 to 209.11. 209.11. That is a 75%. 75% yield. So once again, we're low. I mean, most contacts that I have done, are 80% and more. I've had them as high as 95%, 90%. Still, I mean, this is better than what we've been doing. This is the best one yet at 75%. These are really killing us up here. These, especially this one. This one really hurt. This mixed tungsten contacts, that big batch, it was over 1 kilo of contacts. Should have yielded somewhere around, 400 to 500 grams, and it yielded almost, a little more than half that. So let's do our percentages right quick before we go outside, see where we're at for this refine. So we have 38, 21, 45.6, 75, 74 equals 327. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 divided by 5. Right now we're at 65.52%. That being right, the batch number 7 being close to being right, brought us up quite a bit. So, all right, we'll see you outside in just a minute. I'm going to pour this in here. That's our take so far. I haven't taken my stuff out, so this is what we have. Still a very nice looking powder. And that's where we're at, guys. So again, I'll see you outside. Okay guys, we made it outside. We are actually siphoning off, or not siphoning off, but I'm filtering off some of the reduced filter water there, which will get added to this pot, and then we will drop the silver chloride out of it. That has settled, so I'm going to go ahead and siphon it off, and I'm going to clean up the silver that's in there. And this is hard stuff, like some of the stuff that came off the plate on this that had copper on it and stuff like that still. So this is actually nitric acid and distilled water with the scrapings from these things, from the stuff that didn't work properly. So I'm going to redissolve that, and then we'll drop that again, because there's too much copper in it to melt it as it was, or to it would take too long for the HCl to boil it out. So I figured I would just go ahead and make a little batch right there. So that's what that is. So I'm going to finish cleaning up these beakers that were not being used right now, and straighten up my area because it's a bit of a little mess because we've had so much going on. And then I'm going to get to work on that. And so we'll get back at you then. What I'll do is I'll probably go ahead and drop it, then I'll show you the chloride, then we'll do a convert on it so you can see that part, and that'll be that. So we'll get back at you in a little while. Okay guys, so this is where we are right now. That is the siphoned off number 8 silver nitrate. I actually am going to reduce it probably maybe 200 or 300 milliliters. I'm just going to evaporate the water off of it. In that 1,000 ml beaker there is the silver that was in the bottom. Now what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to let that settle. I'm going to get as much of that rinse water, or that water, off of it as I can. Then I'm going to rinse this, and this is going to be completely separate from all the other stuff, because that rinse water is going to have to be reduced and put back into there so that we have an accurate drop. In other words, I'll know, so that way none of the silver is going to be separated out of that batch. So when I get that done, which what I'll do is rinse that, filter the water, and so on and so forth, and put it back in there after it's been reduced down. We are currently doing our final cleanup. This is our reduced stuff. I'm filtering off one of the last bits of the reduced rinse water, which was the stuff we were pouring in the black bucket. Okay, this is the stuff from the bottom of the black bucket. So what we're going to do is let that settle off. Then I'm going to remove this water from there, put it back and reduce it down and make sure we don't have anything else in it, and that'll go in the waste bucket. And then we will hit this stuff, which I'm sure is contaminated with 10 times the amount of crap, you know, that we've been seeing in all this stuff, because this is actually the swill or the settlement, you know, from all the rinses. So I will hit that with hydrochloric acid, which will ball up the silver and hopefully put all the other crap into solution. And then at the very end of our tally, I will add this and that silver chloride and the rest of the silver chloride that we drop out of these things together, and that will be added to our final amount to see, you know, because this is actually stuff that has come out in the rinse. So this is where I said I don't toss anything. I don't just do the rinse and, you know, and neutralize and throw away, because there's silver in it or there's gold in it or whatever you're doing. The same thing with this stuff. This is, I'm settling out the HCl, and we will actually put that, after I filter this again, in here, and we will hit that with aqua regia to see if there's any gold or anything in it. That's also what those are. Those are plug filters from all this filtering. So we have basically reduced probably 4 gallons of rinse water, pretty much down to about what'll end up being about a half a coffee pot. And then, like I said, we'll put some HCl in there, or we'll put that in there because I just repeat use it, and drop the silver chloride. The silver chloride will then go in here. We will convert the silver chloride to metal, and then we will add that to this after this has been cleaned up, and as I said, put it all together. So that's where we are. That was a little redundant. I just said everything in reverse that I said forward. But anyway, that's where we're at. So I just wanted to show you what's going on. This is probably since the last time I clicked in there, or I made a little, you know, a little update. It's probably been 3 or 4 hours. I pretty much got this straightened out now, but we still got a little ways to go. So I'll get back at you guys when I got something else to show you. Okay guys, it's starting to get a little dark out here, or not dark, but the sun's going down. It's getting late. I have this on the warmer to reduce. We're going to bring it down to either 14 or between 14 and 1200, somewhere in there. And then we're going to do a chloride drop, which I've said 100 times. We're filtering off our other water, the last of our filter waters. In fact, this is the number 8. I have the silver in the drying oven that was dropped by copper from the number 8. And then there's number 5 and number 6. So they are dry. I'll bring them in and get them weighed up. I also did the cleanup on our sludge, which was from our pour-off bucket. And I boiled this in hydrochloric acid for, let's say, after I rinsed it, and then I boiled it in hydrochloric acid for approximately 45 minutes. Are you ready? Look at the color of that. I don't know if it's coming through on camera, but it's purple. So I actually have, I know there's silver in there, but I have no idea what that purple color is, or what the purple is. So I'm thinking I'm not going to add that to our, you know, to our main powder. I'm actually thinking about putting that in a crucible, melting it up, and then taking it over where I get to the person that has the XRF gun and letting them test that so we can see what it is. Because I've never gotten purple silver before. So I know there is something else in it. Like I said, this was our sludge bucket, that black you know, out of that black bucket that I was pouring our rinse waters in. So obviously, you know, we were pouring off some contaminants, but I have no idea what is in that. And it is really a nice lavender purple color. It's kind of pretty. So anyhow, I might do that just for the heck of it. I may have to go to Murphy next week sometime. So we may do that and just see exactly what is in that stuff. Alright guys, I'm going to call it an evening and go in. I'm getting a little sore, so we'll finish filtering that stuff off tomorrow. And hopefully that'll be reduced down enough that we can add it back to it, and we'll do our chloride drop. And that will be just about it. We have done our cleanup. Most of our cleanup, not quite all of it yet. We still have that stuff there to process. And we still have that little very first, I've been moving that jar all over the place, that very first rinse water. So anyhow, I just wanted to show you that. And we'll get back at it tomorrow. Okay guys, we are inside. It is the next morning, and we have batch 5 dried up. So we're going to see what we got out of that. Batch 5 was our scrap. You know, the little beads of solder and broken stuff and junk and whatever. So this was our scrap. And we started with 78 grams. So let's see what we got out of this. I think I can, well, every time I try to pour it straight on, I end up spilling some, so let's just do it this way. Not that much here, so we will be able to go pretty quick. Our powder, I haven't looked at it yet outside, that powder that turned purple. I'm seriously thinking about taking that and melting it and going to get it checked with the XRF. Okay, let me get off the desk, tar it. 146.59. 146.58. 146.57. So now we'll let it set. 57. Tar the scale. 146.58. So that's what we're going to go with. So we have 146.58 minus 95.8 equals 50.78. So there was a lot of crap in that. So we went to 50.78. See what our percentage was. Percentage was 65. So we got 65% out of that. Okay, that's like I said, this whole refine is turning out low. I don't know what this stuff was from, but anyhow, let me go and grab batch 6, and we will do it in just a second. Okay guys, here we are with batch 6. So let's just real quick see where we were with that. Batch 6 was our, they were mixed alloys, small little triangles and stuff like that. So that was small mix alloy. Alright, and we started with 68 grams of that. So let's see what we got. Looks like a little bit brighter colored powder than our scrap, which that doesn't surprise me. Amazing. You wouldn't think it, but how much sweeps up off the bottom of this in just fine little powder. I mean, you can't, I don't know if you can see it in there, but it sticks. Okay, so we got that. Let's see what we got going on here. $147.96. 147.97. 147.96. So that's what we're going to go with. 147.96. Let's take the beaker weight off. 147.96 minus 101.46 equals 46.5. And let's figure our percentage. 68%. So this, I can already tell, I don't believe our batch number 8 is going to be 100% pure because that's what it's going to take to actually get this total refined to be where it needs to be. Okay, so I've got that. I'm going to go pull, I shut off the drying oven last night, so I'm going to go pull the number 8 that we dropped with copper out and go ahead and get that weighed up and set aside in a beaker, and then we're going to go out and drop that the rest of number 8 with hydrochloric acid. So we will be back. Okay, here is our stuff that we dropped with copper from our batch 8 that came out. I mean, it's a beautiful powder. It's probably the brightest powder we've had yet, but you know, I'm just going to weigh this up just to see, you know, what we dropped out so far. Batch 8 was 648 grams. I was kind of hoping to get, you know, like 550 out of it at least, you know, or more. I don't know if that's going to happen. There's no point in, you know, trying to do a ratio on this because we don't have it all yet. So let me go ahead and put those other 2 in here because we've already got them figured up, and then we're just gonna, for the heck of it, just get that out and weigh it up and see what we got. I'll have to keep it separate because we don't have it all yet. So there is our jar so far. It's getting heavy, but it should be a lot heavier. And let's just scoop some of this up. I'll put it in this beaker. And basically I'm just gonna, you can see that, I don't know if you can see that, but you can see the little flakes. They're actually like flakes of silver. I broke a couple of them open to make sure, the bigger ones, that there was no copper in there, and there's not. But that's from that stuff locking up on those bars. Which once it locks up, it doesn't do anything. So you pretty much have to pull the stuff out, break it up so that the copper is exposed again, and keep doing that over and over, which is a real pain in the butt because you end up generating a whole bunch of rinse water that you have to deal with, and it's just easier. I found whenever I have a problem with something, I just go ahead and drop it as a chloride and clean up the chloride and be done with it. Because even though it's more of a process to do a chloride, because I clean mine up too, I don't just drop chloride and melt it. Even though that's more of a process, it's a lot easier than having to constantly deal with, you know, breaking this up, rinse water, reducing the rinse water, cleaning that up, and so on. This feels really dense. So let's see what we got here, just out of curiosity so far. 206.24. I don't have to be super accurate with this one. 206.24. 206.24 minus, didn't do it, come on machine, 206.24 minus 101.46 equals 104 grams in there. 104, almost 105 grams. 104.78. So that's, and it feels dense. So that's pretty good. Nice color powder too, you can see. It's even cleaner and brighter than the stuff we've already done. Okay guys, I'm going to get outside and try and get number 8 finished off, get it dropped, and we're going to start working on our cleanups, which are dropping and converting our rinse waters and all of that stuff. So we will be back at you outside. Okay guys, we're outside. Very quickly, I just wanted to show you that we did drop this down to 1300, and we're going to drop that with chloride like I said. I'm going to finish filtering off our rinse waters. All this stuff is rinse waters to be cleaned up, and going to get it inside. Our purple stuff actually doesn't look purple now. It looks brown. So I don't know what that is. It went from crap gray to a really pretty lavender purple to this brown color. So I don't know what's going on there. I am actually going to melt that and try and hang on, try and take a trip to Murphy and get it checked. I didn't realize how long in the tooth we were in this video. We're pushing an hour, so I'm going to go ahead and call this video right here, and our next video we should be able to wrap this up. We actually should be able to go ahead and you know, finish up our solutions, which I'm going to get out here and get working on today. Do our chloride drop over here, and then get this thing finished out. So, alrighty guys, everybody take care, stay safe out there, and we will see you in the next video.